How's it going, dive buddies? It is Kyle here. Welcome back to the Dive Wagon. In this quick scuba tip, we're going to be talking about the Mars X Vision and the Mars X Vision liquid skin. And I'm going to show you specifically how to take the lenses out of the masks. Now for this tip, we're gonna need one tool and one tool only, and that's gonna be this little plastic tool, that almost looks like a little plastic screwdriver that comes with the prescription lenses that you buy from Mars that go for the specific mask. If you don't have one of these, maybe check with your local dive shop. I'm sure they probably have a bin of these floating around or something similar that's gonna be helpful. You don't wanna use a screwdriver, and I'm gonna explain in a minute why we don't wanna use a screwdriver. So before I jump into explaining how to disassemble your Mars X Vision or your X Vision liquid skin, I've disassembled one already to show you the 4 basic components that make up the mask. So we have a little bit of a blueprint to follow as we're going along, so you kind of know what's coming. So I was editing this video and it all kind of seemed and sounded vaguely familiar, as if I had already made this video in the past. So I looked through the past videos that I've made, since I've made so many in the last 2 years, and I found this. Yes, they need to be disassembled and cleaned every so often. No, I'm not telling you to do it. I don't want you to ever try to disassemble your mask and clean it that way. Unless you have been trained in the proper method and with the proper tools to disassemble your mask, do not touch your mask. So I guess you could consider this your formal training now on how to disassemble Mars X Vision and liquid skin masks. Obviously, if you're still not comfortable doing this, just take them to your dive shop and they'll be able to disassemble them for you. So the 4 components that make up your mask are: 1, the silicone skirt of the mask, we have the lenses of the mask, and then we have 2 components of the frame. We have a larger, more rigid component of the frame, which is what's going to hold the skirt together. And then we have a thinner, more delicate piece of the frame. This is what's going to pinch the whole thing together and keep the lenses in place. Now this is the part that I want to just mention one thing about. This is why we don't want to use a metal screwdriver or metal tool to pry open the lenses or pry open the frame, and instead we want to use our plastic tool, as I mentioned before. The reason for that is this particular piece, if we look closely, has a total of 8 little tabs going around the outside of the frame. These are the tabs that latch into the other part of the frame that goes around the skirt. So if we can take a look here, we'll see there's little nests, little grooves in there that the outer part of the frame sits into. And we want to make sure that we keep all of these little tabs intact. If we don't, eventually the mask will loosen up and we'll get little leaking coming in from between the lenses, and we don't want that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our mask and we're going to grab our plastic tool, and what we're trying to do is we're going to try to put the tool in between the 2 pieces of lenses at the joints where the tabs are. Now in my particular mask, I have a clear frame mask, so I can actually see where those tabs are, which is going to be great. Now I have found that there isn't really a particular spot that works best to start. I like to start at the noses. That's just where I start. You can start wherever. You may find that one section is harder to remove than another, so just jump around if your tool doesn't go in at a specific section. So I'm going to start here at the nose. You're going to take your tool, you're going to push, and what I'm doing here is I'm pushing straight down. So not wiggling or pivoting, just put your tool in straight down, and then you're going to slide your tool around. You're going to move it up to the next tab. You'll hear a little click, and just kind of work your way around the mask. If you find that it is tighter in one section here and looser in another, forget that side and move over to the next. Jump around, click. I'm just using minimal effort here. You're going to slide around. Now you'll get to a point where the frame is almost out. This may be tempting to pull out. Just wait. You have just a couple more pieces to remove, a couple more tabs. At some point, you'll have one left. Boom. So go around the whole thing, remove all the tabs, and your frame will just come off like that. Then you can remove the lenses from the mask, pop them out. You can use your little finger, pop them out from the inside. And then you can remove the skirt. The skirt is just sitting there on a groove in this frame. You can just see that that's where it sits, so you can pull out kind of one of the eye sockets and pop out the other eye socket. And at this point, you've got your mask assembled. We would clean that. We would put in the new prescription lenses if that's what we were doing, and then we would put the mask back together. So the same goes, it's basically the reverse. Grab our skirt, grab our rigid body of the frame. We're going to be placing the little eye socket inside that eye socket of the frame. Make sure you're sitting in on that ledge. Do the same for the other eye socket. Then it will slide down into the groove. I take a quick second, I inspect, I make sure that there's no hairs or any leftover dirt that I missed while I was cleaning the mask. You're gonna grab your lenses. Your lenses will only go in one way, so that's okay. You're not gonna be able to mix that up. Just set them in there. They'll sit in that little ledge the skirt now makes. And then we're gonna do the reverse of what we did with the outer part of the frame. We're just gonna kind of set it gently. I kind of line it up at the top, set that right on top where you wanna go. And what will happen is you'll hear the little tabs pinch in. I've kind of put the top two in, and then you gently want to work your way around the frame. Click, click, click. These should go in easy. If there's anything, if it's going hard, then just inspect, make sure everything is sitting down where it's supposed to. There's not supposed to be much resistance. They just click in, click, click. And once you've got them all clicked in, I will sometimes then at the end, I'll pull the mask up to my face. I'll do a little sniff test, which you can't see, but I'm sniffing the mask on my face, making sure that there's no air sneaking in anywhere. And this particular mask, I have a clear frame so I can inspect, make sure that they are indeed all popped in to their little corresponding ledges, and we're good to go. And there you have it, guys, the simple quick tip on how to remove the frame and the lenses from your Mars X-Vision and X-Vision Liquid Skin mask. If you have any questions or any problems, make sure you leave them in the comment section below. I'd be happy to help you out. And if you're new to the Dive Wagon, maybe consider subscribing. We'd love to have you jump aboard. And obviously, guys, we'll see you next time, and happy diving.